Well, hey y'all. So today's song, even though I'm recording this last night, is a little more serious than a lot of the other ones I'll do. I consider myself a pretty positive, upbeat person, but even I kind of have to see that I think we're in a bit of a season of strife. Even beyond the fact that it's an election season, there seems to be a lot of anger and conflict, and in times like these especially. I definitely need reminders of what I'm called to do, and what we're called to do, and what we're called to be. And I think we're called to be servants for one another, and to love one another. I sort of view my calling through my Christian beliefs, and there's a particular verse that really sort of can sum up what I think my and our calling is. I think it's to do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourself. And like I said, I need reminders of that pretty often. And this song has definitely been that for me. The song is by Michael Card, and it's called Basin and the Towel. In an upstairs room, a parable is just about to come alive. And while they bicker about who's best, with a painful glance he'll silently rise. Their Savior's servant must show them how, through the will of the water and the tenderness of the towel. And the call is to community, the impoverished power that sets the soul free, and humility to take the vow that day after day we must take up the basin and towel. In any ordinary place, on any ordinary day, the parable can live again, when one will kneel and one will yield. Our Savior's servant must show us how, through the will of the water and the tenderness of the towel. And the space between ourselves sometimes is more than the distance between the stars. By the fragile bridge of a servant's bow, we take up the basin and the towel. And the call is to community, the impoverished power that sets the soul free, in humility to take the vow that day after day we must take up the basin. And the call is to community, the impoverished power that sets the soul free, in humility to take the vow that day after day we must take up the basin. That day after day we must take up the basin. That day after day we must take up the basin and the towel, and the towel.